Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Hermit Skies. We're hanging out in my favourite part of the base. I love this room here. I love the theme of it. It's such a big shift from the theme that we got over here. And I feel like this glass is a really good way of separating it. You sort of walk into an entirely different area here, right? But enough waffling on about that. I got plans for today's episode. We are going to be farming some Nether stars. That's right. And in order to farm some Nether stars, we got to kill the Wither. Got to admit, I'm a little bit worried that something might go wrong because this mod pack has a mod called the Hardcore Wither. Okay, I'll explain that in a moment. First of all, quest book time. I was looking at Supremium Armor earlier. We want to craft these watering cans. We want to try and craft everything here, I think, and complete that with the exception of the carrots. Now, in order to get the watering task, the watering flask, the watering can. Jeez, what is wrong with me today? Talking, it's difficult apparently. We need to get some fertilized essence. Now, we will get this stuff from resource crops, as it says there. 10% drop chance. Now, a resource crop is one like the Nether Star farm. So if we go and look at the Nether Star over here, we will see that we need Nether Star shards to craft it. And that requires Nether Essence, which comes from Mystical Aggradations, which is built on top of Mystical Agriculture. So, this right here, the Nether Star Seeds, is what we need to craft. We need 4 of them to get going, and that'll then produce the fertilized crop as well, as this is a resource crop. So, 10% drop chance for each of those. So that means we've got to start off by fighting the Wither. Now, isn't it a good thing that we built this beheading station a while ago, because we need to behead some withers in order to fight that sucker. So I got my soul sand ready, and over here this thing is doing its job. I love it. It's awesome. How many bottles has it got in there? 16. It's all been working just fine. The soul vials come back in here. Look, the spawner's active again. Oh, this thing is just superb, isn't it? And I'm picking up the wither skeleton skulls with my magnet, which is kind of cool. Now I need this thing to hurry up because I need that sword. I don't actually have a weapon of my own, do I? It's just the one sword that I've got. I might have something else in here. We have the carbon shuriken. Maybe we could use that as well. But I'm going to need my sword if I'm going to fight this wither boss. This thing has done so much beheading that we have another modifier to put on it. This is the one that means we will get ahead every single time, which makes our farm up the top that much more efficient. Excellent. Let's also repair this thing as well, and then we can get to spawning some withers. Now, we might fight more than 3. I do think on occasions they drop more than 1 Nether Star, right? And if we go into here, we actually have loads of skulls already, so we've got more than enough. Now, this mod pack has something called the Hardcore Wither in it, which means that the wither boss gets harder every single time that you fight it. However, this little mechanism right here means that that guy's going to get caught inside of there. But what he can do is spawn things like ghasts in the area and cause lightning storms, which I'm not too keen on, to be honest. I'm a little bit worried. There you go. He's setting off some lightning. But luckily, no ghast this time. So we're gonna kill a few of these and hopefully no ghast spawn, because they could do some damage to the base here. Ah, yes. I am very glad that my curiosity led me to look at this item right here, which we've got. We need to get, at least 2 of those, because we need this Nether Star Crux in order to grow the Nether Stars. You can't just plant them down. You've got to have one of those blocks nearby as well. And I only got a single Wither Star from that one, so I'm very worried about their... Oh, here we go. See, it's harder. There's a blaze here now. No ghasts, that's all I'm asking for, no ghasts. This shuriken, though, would wreck a ghast pretty quick, I think. I think I know what the problem is here. We need to kill this guy with this thing right here, because it's got fortune free on it. Now, I don't know if that acts as looting free as well. Probably not. I've got a feeling it's not going to, because we need at least 6 of these stars to get started, and I have only got 2 so far. Now, when I did this in my live streams world, I was killing it with a different weapon, and so I think we might take a break after this and make sure that we can get looting, but this time we're going to try it with fortune, and last time we had a blaze spawn on us. What will it be? What will it be? Are there any ghasts? It don't sound like there's any ghasts. That means we can do our business here. Oh, wither skeleton came out of nowhere. So it's not just at the start of the fight. Okay, now we've got to kill this guy with this. I'm also taking a lot of damage, and that is very, very loud. Alright, kill it with a pick. Kill it with a pick for fortune. Hey, we now got 6. So fortune does work on it. Okay, that's pleased me greatly. And we got 3 of those as well. I think we'll try and kill this guy a couple more times. That last one had me withered for a really long time. And if you remember the last episode, I said that I got upgraded like my recording software, Windows 10, all of that stuff. It means that the game sounds are now on a separate track, and that is super useful because when it's loud like it is now, I can simply lower the volume without it being a problem, right? Which is pretty cool. So nothing spawned yet, and we're going to go for it again. Going to kill it with the fortune pick. That's not cool. That's not cool at all. It just exploded when it died and made a horrendous amount of damage. Now, doing a quick assessment, I believe it hasn't messed up too much of what was going on here. This looks all intact and as should be, but it's kind of ruined this little spot right here. So I got some repairing to do, and if we're to fight this sucker again, I think what we'll do is we'll go into the mining world and fight it over there. The sky is moving very fast, all by itself. What is this voodoo magic, man? What's going on? I'm just repairing my base, and the sky starts spinning really fast. I don't know. Hey, it's modded Minecraft. It feels wrong to not craft these on camera, you know? So there's our Nether Star seeds, and then of course we need one other thing. If we go through the page of different things we can craft with this, aha, it's that one right there, the Nether Star Crux. Excellent. We also killed a wither before. We might have more of these withering souls. As we farm more of these, we're of course going to reinvest, but those ones we have to get from killing the wither. I don't think there is any other way. However, I will look into it. Oh, and speaking of stuff like Supremium Essence and all of those things, check this out. We have filled up the first 5 drawers, and this one is catching up the others on amounts. So I'm probably going to install some extra upgrades, but that is a crazy amount of materials to have. That means it's going to be no problem to craft all of the other stuff. So we've got the seeds, we've got this block right here. It is time just to head over there now, I think, actually. Normally I do a little bit more preparation, but that should be it. And what I want to do is actually knock out the top floor of this thing and replace it with some of the Nether Stars rather than keep building this thing up and up. Although if we need more materials in the future, then maybe we will. And so since we need one for now, let's just remove that, chuck it over here, and remember to grow, it's got to have this thing on top of it, or is it below it? There's no more information about it, so let's chuck that thing up there and wait. Well, that's all the evidence I need, about 3 or 4 minutes of it being on top. Nothing happens. As soon as I put it down below, it starts growing. It just jumped up to 14%, and now it's up to 28%. Excellent. And that means that we are farming Nether Stars, although only the shards to begin with. And then with 3 of those, we can craft a Nether Star. Now, down here, where are those items going to go? They're just going into the dimensional transceiver. Looks like I could do a little bit of cleaning up around here as well. And that thing can probably go. Now, this thing's got some items in it. Ah, look, we got our fertilized essence and our Nether Star essence. We also have these 2 things. Now, I believe that these will get picked out on the other side, back at our base. These ones won't, which makes sense while it's there. So if we remove this one right here, we no longer want items to go through this block. If I pull those out, yeah, look at that. There's nothing else there. And I'm not sure if it's technically taken these or not, or if they can be seen by both sides. So let's zap back over here. And of course, we've left those in that place. That means if there's nothing over here, we'll have to go back and pick them up again. But if we head around the back to where our mystical agricultural stuff is, this dimensional transceiver right here might have it inside. No, it doesn't. Interesting. But in future, it should actually go into there. And I should have waited a second, because there it is. The Nether Star Essence has now gone to this dimensional transceiver. So we need a way to deal with these items over here and put them into their drawers. And I haven't even thought that far ahead at this point, so I'll figure something out over here. Alright, 10 of those, 1 of those. That's the right drop rate, isn't it? And we're going to store these here temporarily, and then we're going to move them up top, because actually what we're going to end up doing is moving this whole system up there, as I now know how I want to decorate that area. And if we look at where our drawers are over here, we should be able to open up the roof somewhere over here and bring some oak trim up and across, and then have the little thing we're building there in this area, but a little bit more open so we can access it and deal with the items coming through this dimensional transceiver as well. And there is a lot of stuff coming through there, and soon we should be due some more seeds, because every now and then it spits out some seeds as well, right? Well, I actually have 2 more withering souls, so I guess I did actually have one in the system and used it when we were crafting a moment ago. But anyway, up the top here, I've got a vision of what I want to do now, and it involves ripping out the floor in this space and behind it as well. I want to have all sorts of mystical agriculture blocks kind of filling up this space as if there were a stockpile here for them. And I feel like the way to move forward is to kind of copy this design that we got going on over here and put it in this bit, so we kind of section off this area, and then it allows us to have a little bit of a mystical agricultural block theme, and then we can open up this panel at the back here and start to put some storage in. And I've managed to accidentally teleport once again. How many more times is that going to happen this episode? I don't know. Alright, so this is kind of what I had envisioned, having these blocks sort of loosely thrown around a bit. And I think with a larger area this might have worked out pretty well. You can also sort of go down and walk through all of this, well, if that wasn't in the way. We're going to move the teleporters and we're going to put them just back there, and they're going to be in the centre of a storage area. So we're going to have like a 360 thing going around for all the different stuff that we'll eventually store from this mod, and we will connect it somewhere over here as described earlier, right? Should be pretty easy to pull these drawer blocks up and over to that space, and then we'll move all of this stuff. Now this has been running for some time. We got 14 of those, probably not enough to start crafting the watering cans, and 119 of those. But in here, last time I checked, no Nether Star seeds, so I am mistaken here. I thought it would drop some, and it doesn't, which means we're going to have to craft some more. But of course, we can now craft Nether Stars. There's always a nice point in a mod pack when you get to craft Nether Stars, and I believe it is 9 of these for 1. Yeah, so it may seem like we've got a lot, but we've only got 13, and then we've got to do that, and we've got 4 more Nether Stars, which means we can craft 1 more seed, right? If we type in Nether Star in here as well, we do actually have another 3, but we need 2 of them to create another one of those blocks, and another one, another 2 of those. So we can only make 1 more seed at the moment, which is kind of crazy. So things are getting there, people. They're getting there. We got to do a little bit of design work quickly. I think these 2 blocks will look alright together. It looks a little bit strange, but I think it suits what we're going to do here. So we're going to grab those, go up top. These are going to be the ones that go around the side, and this is how the area is developing here. This, by the way, is painted glowstone, so the area is lit. However, we could have actually put in the regular blocks, and I think I might, because it might be better to have some lighting fixtures up the top and have the room be a little bit dimmer when it's finished. But you'll notice there's oak trims here, and this is where these blocks are going to go. Now the oak trims are there to connect everything together, and I've just realised I thought these were 6 on each side, which is why I've made 24, whereas actually we've got room for 9 over here, haven't we? Yeah, so I'll have to make a few more of those, I guess. That's actually looking really cool, so I'm happy with that. Now, around the back here, it turns out that this gap is exactly, on top of the frame drawers, but this controller slave doesn't seem to be working, and I can't extend to all of these drawers around here. Now, if this thing is in a different position, like closer to the drawers, it still doesn't work. I've moved it all over the place, and unfortunately it doesn't work. So what we're going to do is create a second system, and we're going to add a storage bus to it. Now, because Applied Energistics is on hard mode in this pack, it means I think that we can only have 8 of these in total, like 8 connections, like a storage bus. And we're currently using one down there, and now we're going to have to use that's a compacting drawer. How have I managed to make the wrong thing there? I've been a complete idiot, haven't I? Okay, so that is now part of the storage system, and this also looks at all of the drawers at once. So when all the ones around the side here are locked, what I can actually do is connect directly to this thing here, and rather than looking into each of these individual drawers with a priority like that, we just go into... Actually, no, I can't, because I need to have this one over here on priority 0. Oh well, never mind, we're not doing that. I thought that would be an easy way to extract the other items out of here. Like, we've got to move these ones as well, right? So how am I going to do that if I can't use the same conduit network? I guess I just have to do the same thing again, but run it all on a different color channel. So we'll create a channel that's brown, and that'll be the one that points down here. So that channel is then going to get the other items from there to here, and it's going to insert them into the right drawers. So this is where I can start putting the Nether Stars and the fertilizer. And I moved this, and I had a feeling, even here, it's kind of in the middle of the room, right? You're going to eventually walk into it. But yes, we'll be able to move all the other items into these drawers now. And there it is, a finished room with everything working just fine. And this bit right here, I rotated it so you've got to walk all the way over to that block in order to get teleported, which is convenient because I've been teleported accidentally many, many times. Anyway, the next thing for us to do, I think, is to fight some more withers so we can take this stuff and get it farming even faster now. So you saw how we did it in the overworlds. Now we've got to do it again here in the mining dimension. And as I said, this is hardcore wither, so things could get a little bit hairy. This guy might be able to escape and break these blocks at some point. I'm hoping not. And also we might see other mobs spawning around here. So I'm going to record the whole thing. But otherwise, there you go. He spawned a ghast. But you can't ruin my base because we're not there. So this guy's going to explode. Not sure if it exploded or not. Also, info hardcore wither chat wither experience. I had a good experience with the wither there. I got 8 nether stars. But actually, it's the other things that we want now because we're farming those. And I got none of them, which sucks. Okay, something just changed. This thing started firing ferociously. And it caught me there. So I'm probably best to stay back. However, I'm withered for 28 seconds on level 2. I need to continuously eat to stay alive. The wither's health has gone back down again to 150 hearts. It was higher than that last time. It's doing a lot of damage to me. It shouldn't be able to do anything at all. But there's lightning strikes going off. There's all sorts of badness happening. Yeah, look at that. My health keeps going down. Okay, it's clearly shooting through that gap. That thing is not effective. Let's get in here. Kill this guy. And now, I've got a feeling that this thing isn't influenced by the looting or the fortune effect that we got there, which half makes me think that automating it at this point wouldn't be a bad idea, as we don't really need the nether stars, do we? We just need the withering souls so we can grow our nether stars a little bit faster. Right, I hope this works. We're going to do hostile damage as a player. I've set up a channel and I've configured our big power setup, so there's now a screen dedicated to this. I can always come over here and turn this off since it's running in another dimension. Wither farm, that's what I called it. We're going to receive some wither farm power over here. This block is getting powered. I think all I've got to do is whack it with this thing to turn it on. There we go. And now it's going to damage the wither in there. I've also added a little bit of shielding around the top here, so I'm hoping that it won't be able to hurt me as much because it seems to do a lot of damage. And I think we might be smart to perhaps work on some other things before we get too carried away with this, like making some better armor. Because we don't really have, a lot. We've got diamond and then the jetpack. Anyway, this guy is now clearly not able to see me. Let's see how many hearts it gets. Looks like another one with 150. Bam. Lightning is striking, and it's taking damage from the shield. That's awesome. Okay. So this means I can semi-automate it to some extent. I could stand over here and spawn this thing, and then let the shield kill it, which is inefficient, but I could do other things at the same time. And there we go. Down to 2 hearts, and I didn't get another one. Jeez, I've killed quite a few of these now. We need at least another one to grow some more nether stars. Finally, we got our second one. And I'll tell you what, those lightning strikes were doing some damage to me. But I ain't been withered, so I think this setup is definitely a lot better. One step in the right direction, that's what I say. But anyway, we're going to go back into the overworld now. We're going to craft this thing up. And I think I'm going to work on getting some armor and unlocking some more loot chests as well. I'm just crafting up some bits and bobs over here and realise that there's something that we have missed along the way. This theoretical infinity water source requires us to get water essence, which has required me to take a trip to the Nether to get some more prosperity ore. Did we just craft that one? We didn't. Excellent. We need that for the furnace, which we're about to craft. The ultimate furnace, which requires a supremium block as well, and that's nice and cheap for us. So we can get an extra loot crate like this. But we need more stuff for the other bit. And I clicked on the wrong thing. And one of those things that we need are these mana-infused or mithril ingots. You can see that they're one and the same. If I click on U for that and we go to uses, somewhere in here we will see that they are actually required to start crafting these ingots for crafting stuff inside of this pack, like all of those watering cans that you just saw. And I've completely forgotten how it was that I made these. I've got a feeling it's some sort of nether ore that I went and put into our sieving operation over here. So we'll go over that in just a second. The other thing, by the way, I needed some ribs to craft the different shards that you saw around the corner here, these wither skeleton charm fragments. So I've just had this thing running around the clock because I can literally just leave it on, and then whenever this creates one, it goes straight down below, straight across, it kills another wither skeleton, and then eventually we get enough of those ribs to craft all of that. But I'm going to turn that off now because otherwise I will forget. And we need to go into this quest book, open it up, and clicked on the right page for once. 2 rewards, A zenith furnace. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's claim that and open it together, though. And what do we get? Greater rewards, you say? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now I remember, it's not terribly exciting, but you get a bunch of netherrack from the nether. You crush it over here with your hammer, and then you sieve it and you get your mithril ore pieces. You can also get iridium that way. If you run it through iron, you get prosperity shards, also cobalt and ardite. And then if you run it through diamond, which we've got, you don't get those prosperity shards, which kind of sucks, because I wouldn't mind actually automatically getting a few of those. Oh yeah, I took down my sieves when I was lag busting. I wonder if I still have my iron sieves somewhere around here. Probably not, because I crafted them all. Yes, I crafted them all into diamond ones. Now I'm wondering, where did I put all of that stuff? Yes, that would be the logical place to store it. Well, there it is. I've crafted all the things for the different watering cans, so we can go ahead and start crafting them. However, what you'll see is that there is different types sort of put in the middle of here. Right, that one actually I think we can craft straight away. There we go, excellent. But the next one we will run into a little bit of trouble with, and I've just realised we're probably doing these too fast for the book to keep up. Oh dear. Oh, there we go. I had to log on with my second account to fix that one as it broke, but we've now claimed all of those. And if we look at the uses for this, we can go to the next level, although we need to be over here, of course. And then we're going to run into something that requires us to get into a different mod pack. You see this thing right here, refined obsidian ingot? Well, the way to make that is with a osmium compressor, and this is from a mod called Mechanism. And there is a whole quest book for this, so this is something we're going to have to get into soon if we want to continue any further with this quest line. But there's a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be crafted in order to make this, and it looks a little bit crazy, does it not? So we'll be doing that in another episode, but that's all we're going to do for this one today. Of course, we will open these loot chests. What do we get? Black Lotus, not particularly great. We've got two others here to open. A flask of adrenaline, no thanks. A cave spider charm, we've already got plenty of those, and there's a couple more to claim in the book, right? This one right here. Bam, last one of the episode. Fingers crossed for something good. Did you cross your fingers? You should have crossed your fingers. That might be good later on. I don't know. Anyway, that is it from me this episode. If you have enjoyed it, leave a like on the video. It always helps out and makes a difference. So thank you for the support in advance. But that is it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.